Hi, Mike. I'm the history guy, and Cole asked me to wish you a very happy 58th birthday on November 26th. He tells me that you served in the military and that you were a colonel, and thank you very much for your service, sir. I hope you have a birthday that deserves to be remembered. Cole also tells me that you're a fan of military history and asked if I might tell a story, which is what I do. I tell stories about history, and there's a really interesting story about history that has to do with your birthday, June 26th, because on June 26th, the U.S. Army did something absolutely extraordinary that might have changed the course of history. The U.S. worked very hard to stay out of the First World War. We didn't consider it to be our problem. We worked very hard, so much so that we really didn't prepare for war, even though it was obviously coming. But we were essentially drawn into the war in 1917 with the resumption of unrestricted submarine warfare, which was starting to sink then U.S. ships, as well as Britain revealing the Zimmermann telegram between Germany and Mexico, trying to solicit Mexico to go to war with the United States. With no choice, Woodrow Wilson declared war on April 6, 1917. But Germany wasn't too worried because the U.S. was ill-prepared, didn't have a very large or modern army, and they thought it would take so long for us to mobilize that we couldn't possibly shift the war before they could win the war. And that's where they turned out to be wrong. It's amazing how quick the nation was able to mobilize. The 1st Expeditionary Division was constituted on May 24th. Remember, we just went to war in April. By May 24th, we constituted a division. It was organized on June 8th, and then just 6 days later, shipped out for France. It was organized of troops of the regular army that had been serving on the U.S. border at various posts, and they jumped on those boats and they arrived in Saint-Nazaire, France on June 26th. That is your birthday. That was the first arrival of U.S. troops of the U.S. Expeditionary Force to France during the First World War. And even though it would take a while, it wasn't until December that the whole rest of the division had finally arrived. The arrival of those troops was incredibly important to an exhausted Allied force, as that gave them the hope that the United States was going to help them change the course of the war. And so those troops coming so quickly, amazingly quickly, astoundingly quickly, given how we'd entered the war, would then shift all the morale. And eventually, of course, those troops would play a huge role in the 100-day offensive that would end the war. And so on your birthday, it represents a time when the Army moved so quickly that it helped to change the course of one of the largest wars in history. And of course, that 1st Expeditionary Division was renamed the 1st Infantry Division and is today the longest continually serving infantry division of the regular United States Army. And so all in all, that makes your birthday, June 26th, a day that deserves to be remembered. I hope you have a very happy birthday, sir.
Thank you.
Awesome. Be quiet like that.
You might be able to.